Hi everyone, in this video we'll be solving a sample question paper of CMT level 2 Chartered Market Technician. Before watching this video, make sure that you've checked the chapter explanation videos as well as the other mock papers which I've solved. In case you haven't, then I've given the link in description box below. So try to pause the video and try to answer the questions and then try to check it with me. Juliet Covey, CMT, is proud of her CMT charter and her membership by the Market Technicians Association. Covey manages private client accounts and advertises her services on liquor glasses at a local bar. In these advertisements, the MTA logo is prominently displayed, and the statement, "Keep drinking, I'm working hard managing your money," appears in the glass. With respect to the CMT code of ethics, Covey's actions are not in violation of the code, violate the standard against misleading advertising, violate the standards against misuse of MTA logo, violate the standard with respect to maintaining the highest standards of competence, judgment, integrity, and judgment. So the answer is going to be B, because this particular thing is violating the standard against misleading advertisement, right? Because now you can read the code of ethics, but this basically is against the standard against misleading advertising. Dan Montier, a CMT Level 1 candidate, created a proprietary trading model that relies on daily last hour volume of a stock. The exact details of the model weren't disclosed to clients, but the general formulation of the model was discovered along with simulated results of trading as if the model had been in effect for the past 5 years. The model produced profitable simulated results, and Montier was able to attract several clients. His assistant discovered an error in the coding of the model, and when the error was corrected, the simulated results were not nearly as profitable. Montier corrected the coding model but decided against informing his clients. So basically, he did not inform his clients about the error. So Montier's actions are not in violation as the error only affected simulated results, not in violation as he is only a level 1 candidate, in violation as presenting simulated results are prohibited, in violation as the statements made about the results were inaccurate and misleading. Obviously, what he said was basically false information, it was misleading in nature. So now that is the answer. Philip Cartier, a CMT level 2 candidate, is an expert in seasonal effects in equity markets. In a television interview, Cartier says that in the US, small cap stocks have a tendency to show abnormal strength in January. Since we are approaching year end, investors might want to consider increasing their exposure to small cap equities. With respect to CMT Code of Ethics, Cartier's actions are not in the violation of the code, not in violation as he is only a level 2 candidate, in violation as the analysis of seasonal effects is not reasonable in the field of technical analysis, in violation as the statement is inaccurate as large cap stocks generally perform better in uh, January. So the answer is not in violation of any code because this is a scientific fact. This is a well researched fact and we had even studied about it. Hans Zimmermann, a CMT Level 1 candidate, was debating another analyst on a radio program based upon his analysis that the Cycle Beverage Company was in the process of completing a head and shoulders pattern. Zimmerman was bearish on the outlook of the stock. Another analyst, Carlton Wingo, made a bullish case for the Cycle Beverage upon the analysis of using some oscillators. Zimmerman said, "I respectfully disagree with Mr. Wingo. At the same time, I think the pattern forming overrides the reading of the oscillators." With respect to CMT, Zimmerman's actions are not in violation of the code, in violation of the code in terms of disparaging the work of another analyst, not in violation as he is only a level 1 candidate, not in violation of the code because the statement was not in published form. So again, the answer is that it is not in violation because there's nothing wrong in believing in your analysis. Franklin Brown, CMT, is golfing with the CEO of Diamond Forest Company. The CEO tells Brown, "I will not be able to play golf next week because I will be traveling to investigate Southern Forest Company. We are considering a hostile takeover of the Southern Forest and I need to gather more information." 2 weeks later, Brown decides to buy the Southern Forest Company for his client's accounts, but not for his personal account. 4 weeks later, Diamond Forest engages in hostile takeover and Southern Forest stock rises by 30%. So, what are Brown's actions here? Violating the code with respect to acting on the basis of inside information. That is A, obviously, which is true. I don't even have to read the other things. You know that you cannot be acting upon the inside information, and that is morally and ethically wrong, right? Zhang Zhongzhu CMT left Wells Securities to join Charles Securities. He brought to Charles a listing of client contact information and a proprietary trading model that he helped develop when he was employed at Welch with respect to things. So he basically brought a model which he developed at the previous company to the new company. So what do you think about this? Not in violation both with respect to the client contact information and with respect to trading model. Violation with respect to the trading model but not in violation with the client contact information. Violation with respect to the client contact information but not with the trading model. So answer is obviously B, right? Because he even leaked the contact information and also he gave the trading model which he created in another company. So both of the things are not okay. Enrique Perago, CMT, is an analyst for a large investment firm. Perago issued a research report with an initial buy recommendation in Graham Airlines. The report includes an analysis using some very new and controversial methods of technical analysis, along with complete documentation as to the procedure and rationale. 10 minutes after emailing the report to his clients, Perago buys Graham stocks for his mother's account. With respect to the CMT, Pergo actions are not um, in violation with respect to methodology but not for the security purchase, in violation with security purchase but not the methodology, in violation with both the methodology as well as the um, security purchase. So first thing is that you cannot use controversial measures of um, analysis, right? And you cannot buy it on your personal account. So violating both of the rules. Dylan Toscano, CMT, works for Shader Securities and is writing a research report. Toscano uses a section of report issued by his former assistant, Terrace Wingo, CMT. Wingo recently left Shader to start his own firm. Toscano does not provide attribution to Wingo in the report as it was issued by his direct report and is property of Shader Securities. Toscano also uses a quote without attribution from Tyler Pinto, an analyst with the competing firm. With respect to CMT Code of Ethics, Toscano's actions are not in violation with both of them's work, in violation with Wingo, but not violating Pinto, in violation with Pinto, but not in violation with Wingo. So Wingo was former assistant, right? And what about uh, Schrader? Schrader was the old firm, right? So the firm where Toscano is working, and Pinto is basically an analyst of a competing firm. Now, what is the answer here? Both of the things are wrong, right? In violation with respect to both Wingo and Pinto's work. He shouldn't have done either of them. Okay. Let me see how many questions are there. 128. Okay, that's going to be quite some practice. Okay, good. Let's move on. Manuel Lusher, CMT, is meeting with a potential client. Lusher tells the potential client that my biggest client, let me read again. Manuel Lusher, CMT, is meeting with a potential client. Lusher tells the potential client that my biggest client, Tom Corzano, is a good friend of yours and has been very happy with his compound annual return of over 10%. Lusher also tells the potential client that I will make sure that your transactions are completed before trading for my family's account. With respect to CMT, it is not in violation, it is in violation with disclosing client information and the priority of transaction. Okay, moving on. Tammy Al Harry, CMT, in a meeting with a client, states, since I have earned the prestigious CMT charter, you can expect my stock selections and analysis will be superior to my competitors who have not yet earned the designation. With respect to CMT Code of Ethics, Al Harry's actions are not in violation of the code, in violation of the code as the statement is incorrect and misleading, in violation as members and affiliates cannot make promises when soliciting the clients. So the answer is B, because you are being inaccurate and you are being misleading as well. Which of the following best improve the profitability of a trend-based trading system? Introduce additional trend periods, utilize support and resistance, utilize candlestick charts instead of bar charts, increase the delay in taking action after a signal is given. So the answer is going to be D, right? Because increase the delay in taking action after the trade signal is given. Because if you wait for a bit before you take the trade, yes, maybe you will be a little bit late into entering the trade, but at least you will know for a fact that your signal is correct. Okay. Which of the following would not be true in designing a trading system utilizing bands? Buy when prices penetrate the upper band, sell when the prices break below the lower band, cover shorts when the prices reverse and go below the center of the band, close out longs when the prices reverse and go below the center of the band. So obviously you know that the answer is C, right? Why? Because cover the shorts when the prices reverse and go below the center of the band. If the prices go below the center of the band, okay, again, try to understand what the question is saying. Which of the following would not be true in designing a trading system which is utilizing bands? I hope you remember Bollinger Bands also, right? So obviously covering the shorts when prices reverse and go below the center of the band. Why will you cover shorts if it just goes below the center of the band? It can still go till the bottom of the band, right? So you can wait till then. So obviously C is the answer. In a trend based trading system, what is the major determinant of trading activity? How often buy or sell signals is generated? You What is the major determinant? Use of a scaling factor, selection of a trend speed, smoothing technique that is used. So obviously what the trend speed is, that will give you frequency. Moving on, a trend based trading system where the trend is the average of a predetermined number of previous days closing prices is known as predetermined previous days closing prices. Okay, we have end day breakout system, point and figure, linear regression, a simple moving average system. Obviously, it is simple moving average system. You know that it is the average of the closing prices which is taken. A trend based trading system where the trend is the weighting of the recent closing prices by smoothing constant is known as exponential, right? The moment you see smoothing, one sec. Yeah, the moment you see the smoothing factor, you should know that it is exponential smoothing system. A trend based trading system where the trend is the slope of a straight line found using a least square regression is known as, obviously, linear regression. That's the definition. A trend based trading system where signals occur when the current price reaches a new high or a new low would be swing breakout, point and figure, end day breakout, a simple moving average system. It is an end day breakout system. Why? Because current price reaches a new high or new low according to end days. In the past end days, breakout occurs. That's what this particular strategy is. Technicians refer to the speed of price movement, known as, what is the speed of price movement? So you know that price movement with speed would obviously be momentum, right? And another name for momentum is slope, which is not a momentum indicator. Trident index, relative strength index, difference between two moving averages, difference between price and moving averages. Okay, so we know RSI, two difference between two moving averages, price and moving average. We know that all of these are momentum indicators. So what will be the answer? Whatever is left, and that is Trident index. What is the general term for rate of change momentum indicators? Okay, rate of change momentum indicators. What would it be? The general term of rate of change momentum indicators would be oscillators, right? So RSI, MACD, and stochastics all are right, but they are all a part of oscillators itself. So the answer would be oscillators. Which of the following is not correct regarding the RSI? It is scaled from 0 to 100, uses price values in a time period. It is more volatile than simple measures. It is frequently used to determine overbought and oversold. So, what is the wrong answer? Okay, this is correct. So, we will not take this. This is correct. We will not take this. So, this is also correct, right? It does use price values in a time period. So, that's not correct. So, what is not correct? Obviously, it is C. So what is C saying? RSI is more volatile than simple measures of momentum. That's not true. In fact, RSI is less volatile as compared to the other indicators, right? Which of the following is a generally accepted notion regarding the use of futures open volume and open interest? Open interest increases during a trending period. Volume and open interest decrease during an accumulation phase. Falling prices and declining volume or open interest means that a pending change in direction. Now, what do you think would be the answer? Obviously, open interest increases during a trending period, right? When prices are following and volume is declining, how does that say that there's a change in direction? So the only logical answer is open interest increases during a trending period. If the market is continuously going up, then open interest is increasing, which is why the market is trending. Speculative stocks typically put on their best performance in which of the following markets? Entire bull market, final stages of bull market, early stages of bull market. So it see, you know that the stocks usually have their highest point or highest price when they're in the extreme point or when they are creating their highest high. So obviously that happens right before a fall occurs in the market. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the Macmillan oscillator? So what is Macmillan oscillator? First of all, it is a breadth oscillator. I hope you remember that, right? So one second. Okay. So it is a breadth momentum oscillator. It is the sum of two exponential moving averages. It is used for longer range trading as compared to the summation index. Obviously, the answer is A. It is a breadth momentum oscillator. This much we know about the Macmillan oscillator, right? That it is a breadth momentum oscillator. Which of the following is not a valid volume interpretation technique? Not a valid volume interpretation technique. Remove low volume periods, construct volume moving averages, remove volume associated with large price move. Which is not a valid thing in this, right? Low volume periods are something which we shouldn't, uh, like we shouldn't give more attention to because the volume wasn't really high, right? Construct volume moving averages, yes, it is a proper indicator. Remove volume associated with the large price moves. If the volume was very high and there was also a very big momentum towards the upside, then obviously that is important. How can you remove it? So the answer is C, because the question says not. Which of the following is the calculation for price objective using horizontal count method for a three box reversal and a point and figure chart? Okay, which is the calculation for the price objective using the horizontal count method? So they're not talking about vertical, they're talking about horizontal. So what would the answer be? Price level of the lowest box multiplied by number of boxes in the reverse column, price level of the lowest box in the reverse column, price level of the lowest box or up counts of the base, and price levels of the lowest box for up counts of the base plus the number of columns. Yes, obviously the answer is D. This is the formula of point and figure chart. I'm not going into the detail of it because you need to know this. We've done this in level 1 as well. Which of the following is the calculation for price objective using the vertical point and figure count? Okay, so now we are talking about a vertical. That's also again going to be price level of the lowest box for up counts plus number of boxes in the reversal column multiplied by the reversal of the size. Which of the following best describes equity market performance during the presidential election cycle? Okay. Below average year during first year of president's terms, strongest returns during the pre-election year or in the election year. So once again, which of the following best describes equity market performance during the presidential election cycle? Below average year during first year of president's term, strongest returns during the pre-election year or in the election year. Strongest returns would be during the pre-election or in the elections year. That is something which is good. Strongest year, first year of president, worst returns during pre-election can't be true. Above negative returns during pre-election can't be true. Below strongest returns in the second year, below average in the first year. So answer is obviously going to be A, right? Because you have the strongest returns during the pre-election period, which shows the optimism which is present in the market. 37. Which of the following is true regarding contrary opinion as a technical analysis technique? Uh, True. Contrarians trade against the consensus even when it is in normal range. As long as players still have money to invest, their optimism will drive prices higher. Uh, okay, as long as players still have money to invest their optimism, it will drive prices higher. Yeah, B is true. Which of the following is true for WD Gann's trading techniques? Okay, so what did WD Gann trading's techniques say? His work is valid for equities but does not apply to commodities. Gann's work is an advanced interpretation of point and figure. Gann used 10, 20, 30, 40 as his key retracement levels. Specific geometric patterns and angles have unique characteristics for the prediction of the reversal points. Obviously, you know which one was given by Gann, right? Specific geometrical patterns and angles that have unique characteristics for the prediction of price turning points. So that's what was given by Gann. You can search Gann lines and you can use it on TradingView in order to understand it better. Okay, now we come to the Sharpe ratio. So what is Sharpe ratio? It is defined as expected return plus the risk-free interest rate divided by the standard deviation of returns. Expected return times the risk-free interest rate minus the risk-free interest rate. Obviously, I think by now you understood what the answer is. It is expected return minus the risk-free interest rate divided by the standard deviation of returns. See, now this, why did I quickly come up with the answer? Because I remember the formula that Sharpe ratio is equal to expected return minus of the risk-free interest rate divided by the standard deviation. So that is Sharpe ratio. The efficient frontier concept in modern portfolio theory is unrelated to risk-free rate. Is a 45-degree plotting line is to plot highest possible returns. Centers on the premise that systematic risks in the financial markets can be in a diversified way. Now, obviously, I hope you remember what efficient frontier concept was there in the modern portfolio theory. It is the um, plot of the highest possible returns which are obtainable over a series of risk levels. What was the modern portfolio theory? So we were making different combinations with different risk factors, right? So, and that is what is the efficient frontier concept. Okay, now let's come to the chi-square test and let's talk about the question which was about the chi-square test. So what is chi-square test and why do you use it? Can we substitute for Sharpe ratio? No. Can we use it to compare risk to expected risks? No. Can be used to compare actual returns to expected returns? Yes. So that's the purpose of chi-square. We know that. What would be the minimum price objective for a head and shoulders pattern with a neckline at 63? Head and shoulders pattern. Okay, we have a neckline at 63. Top of the first shoulder 72. Top of the head at 96. And top of the second shoulder at 78. What would be the minimum price objective? Okay, so what is price objective? What would be the minimum price objective for a head and shoulders pattern? Hmm, okay. So, what is the height of formation? The height of the formation would be the entire head. Now, what is the entire value of head? Now, you can't say 96 is the value of head, right? Why can't I say that the value of the formation is 96? Because it's not starting from 0, it's starting from 63. So, what is 96 minus 63? It's 33, right? So now you know how many points the head is. The head is of 33 point. I hope you got this much. Now what is the question? Minimum price objective. Okay, so we are talking about the price objective. So that would be whatever the neckline is, right? The price objective. Now one thing you need to keep in mind, when they say price objective, they are not talking about how many points can you keep the target. They want the exact price level or the exact price objective where you will book the profit. So what would that be? You need 63 minus 33 points, right? So that you get a level here, and that level should be equal to the head, right? So 63 minus 33 is going to give you 30. So the answer is A. I hope you understood it. If not, watch it again. What is the measuring formula of double top bar chart pattern? Double top. Okay, this is how a double top looks like. What is the measuring formula? Subtract the distance from the lowest peak from the low of reaction. Subtract the distance from the highest peak to the low of reaction. Subtract the distance from average two peaks and the low of the reaction. Obviously, you are going to subtract the distance from the highest peak to the low of reaction, right? You are going to minus this from this. So obviously the answer is going to be B. What is the measuring objective of a symmetrical triangle chart formation? The measuring, let me just erase this. Yeah. So obviously, if you have a triangle like this, if you have a symmetric triangle formation like this, and if it breaks and the price goes down, you're going to measure this and you're going to place that here. And you will basically take the exact same level. The base distance added to the breakout point, the width of the triangle added to the breakout point, range of the move preceding the triangle added to a breakout point. Now, obviously, C is not the answer. Now, do you add the width or do you add the base? It's always the base. Keep that in mind. You know that. It's always the base. What is the measuring objective for flags and pennants? Okay. Okay. Moving on to question number 45. What is the measuring objective for flags and pennants on bar charts? The distance from the beginning of the sharp trend to the first reversal and adding to the breakout price. Half the distance from the beginning of the sharp, the distance from the beginning of the sharp trend to the first reversal, half the distance. Okay. So what do you think should be the answer over here? Obviously, the answer is going to be the distance from the beginning of the sharp trend to the first reversal, and you are adding it to the breakout price, right? What does that mean? That means that you are calculating. It's not B, it's A, right? Yeah. So what does this mean? It means that you are just adding the pole price to the breakout price. Question number 46. During emotional times, flow of funds signals suggest the duration of the next down leg in the market cycle appear to work exceptionally well because of the market's flight to safety, appear to work poorly because price seems to divorce itself from economics, functions no differently than any other time. Okay, so obviously, when you see that the times are emotional, then in that sense, there's going to be some sort of a different atmosphere in the markets. So obviously, it's going to work poorly. Let me also check the answer. Yeah. 47. Which of the following is correct interpretation of volume? In an uptrend, price normally precedes volume. In an uptrend, volume normally precedes price. In a downtrend, volume should increase on up days. In an uptrend, volume should increase on down days. Okay, so in 47, you know for a fact that C and D are wrong. Now let's read A and B again. In an uptrend price normally, in an uptrend price normally precedes volume. In an uptrend, volume normally precedes price. So obviously in an uptrend, price does not go ahead of volume. Volume is something which is behind price. So volume is something which obviously is there with price. Which of the following is a correct interpretation of open interest? Rising open interest in an uptrend is bearish. Okay, wait. Rising open interest in an uptrend is bullish, right? How can it be bearish? Rising open interest in a downtrend is bullish. No, it's bearish, right? Um, Declining open interest in an uptrend. So open interest is decreasing, which means that it is weakening, which means it is bearish. This could be right, but let's see D. Declining open interest in a downtrend is bullish, not bearish. So the answer is obviously C, because again, we were looking for the correct option. Which of the following is an incorrect interpretation of the put call ratio? A very high put call ratio indicates an oversold market. A very low ratio indicates a warning of an overbought market. um, okay, when the put call ratio is high, which means that a lot of puts are being sold, right? Which means that a lot of put participation is happening, right? So obviously it means it's an oversold market. It's correct. A low ratio, a low PC ratio means that market is bullish, which means buyers are there, which means it's overbought. That's also true. When option traders are bullish, call volume exceeds put volume. That's also true. When call volume exceeds put volume, this has bullish future implication for the market. Okay. When the call volume exceeds put volume, this has bullish future implications for the market. So, no, if call volume is more than put, that means the market is becoming an overbought market. So, answer is D. The proper use of long term charts versus short term price charts is: daily price charts allow for a thorough trend analysis. Long term charts allow for better assessment of price trend. Daily charts allow for a better assessment of price trends. So the answer is obviously going to be B, right? B. With respect to moving averages, changes in price trend are identified by triple cross method, a shorter term moving averages crossing longer term, price crossing and moving average. Okay, so obviously we've discussed this so many times, right? So the answer is going to be price crossing its moving average, not by reversal in a moving average. Now, why are we doing that? Because with respect to moving averages, changes in price trends are identified by. How do you identify a change in trend? Read the question. They're not asking for signals, they're asking for change in trend. So if the market, if the price basically crosses the average, then that's when you get it. Which of the following statements regarding moving average crossovers is correct? Once a moving average system is optimized, it should be used for trading all markets. Is that true? That's not true, right? How can it be used for all markets? It is considered bearish when a short term moving average crosses above a long term moving average. No, it is bullish. How is it bearish? In a triple crossover trading system, buying is signaled when a shortest term moving average crosses over both of the other moving averages. Correct or no? Think about it again. In a triple crossover trading system, buying is signaled when the shortest term moving average crosses over both the other moving averages. That's not true. The first crossover in a triple crossover system during an upside reversal is when the shortest term moving average crosses above one of the other two averages. Okay, so obviously that is the answer. Which of the following is true regarding moving averages? Moving averages usually provide more valid trade signals than oscillators. That is first one. Moving averages usually provide more valid. That's not true. Oscillators usually provide more valid trade signals. That's not true. Moving averages are more likely to provide the most valid trade signals in trending markets. Now, that is a good statement. In trending markets, oscillators will regularly migrate between the extreme values. Not true. Remain in one half of the trading range for long periods. That is true. Give accurate breakout signals. That is not true. So the answer is B. In the stochastic oscillator was created utilizing which basic observation? As prices decline, the trading range tends to narrow. Existing oscillators were limited to 0 to 100. Prices tend to be closer to the upper end of the trading range during an uptrend. Obviously, you know how stochastic oscillator was created. So prices are closer to the upper end of the trading range, and so on. Which of the following is a characteristic of the MACD indicator? Okay, MACD is useful. MACD is useful in trending markets as it is unbounded. Yes, MACD is unbounded, and yes, we can use it during trending markets. But let's also see other ones. What if we have like a better option? MACD crossover rules are different than other crossover rules. Not true. Crossover is just the same. When the slower MACD line is above the faster line, the MACD histogram will be above zero. Not true. So obviously the answer is A. MACD is useful in trending markets as it is unbounded. Which of the following is correct point and figure chart pattern interpretation? Downside breakout of a bearish triangle generates a sell signal. Is that true? It is true. So I just got my answer. Which of the following are valid point and figure trading tactics? Stop losses should be placed below the last column of O's in an uptrend. Okay, that is true. In an uptrend below O's and above X is in a downtrend. So answer is A. A breakout is usually a false signal. A breakout needs no confirmation. A breakout Again, a breakout is usually a false signal. A breakout needs no confirmation. A breakout occurs more often when prices pass through prior support or resistance level. Obviously, the answer is C. Which of the following is the best describes the guideline of alternation? Expect a difference in the price expression of a similar wave. That is true. Fibonacci retracement alternate between 38.2 and 61.8. The longest impulse waves alternate between wave 3 and wave 5. Expect a difference in the next expression of a similar wave. Obviously, the answer is A. Now, if you might be wondering that I haven't explained most of the questions, right? Even though I am trying to give you points wherever I can, but the only reason I'm not is because I have done the chapters in much detail. If you haven't checked those videos, then you might be finding these confusing. You can go on the description box below and you can see the chapters, and then you can come back to this video. Which of the following is a true statement according to the Elliott wave theory? Corrections take place in five wave patterns. That's not true. The two types of simple corrective processes are zigzags and flats. Okay, that is true, but let's also still see the other options. A trend divides into three waves in the direction of the next longer trend. Not true. A complete bull market is made up of eight waves, three waves up, five waves down. Not true. So obviously the answer is B. Two types of simple corrective processes are zigzags and flats. According to Elliott wave theory, in a stock market, wave 5 is more common to extend. Triangles are usually second waves preceding a longer third wave. The Pythagorean theorem is a mathematical basis for Elliott wave theory. Waves can be expanded into longer waves and subdivided into shorter waves. Very true. So the answer is D. According to Elliott wave theory, market action is governed by the golden ratio. Okay, that is true, but let's still see the other options. The number of waves follows the Pythagorean theorem. Corrections do not fall below the top of the prior fourth wave. The rule of alternation states that waves follow down the waves. Okay, the answer is A. Which of the following is correct? Wave 4 should never enter the price territory of wave 1. This is the biggest rule we saw in Elliott wave, right? That the wave 4 should not enter the territory of wave 1. So obviously that is the answer. Now let's come to the question 65. Uh, which of the following places cycles from the shortest to longest in duration? Shortest cycle to the longest. Okay, so that should be, what is the shortest out of the three? The shortest is always seasonal, right? You know that. So after seasonal you have residential and then you have quantitative. Now the first is seasonal, which is given over here, so automatically C becomes the answer because none other options have seasonal as the first one. In case it did, then you'll that's the reason why you have to look at all of the options. So seasonal is the shortest, residential comes next, quantitative comes after that. 66. Which months generally have the best returns for stocks? So you know historically that January is a good month, October and November is a good month. So October, November, and January are good months in with the aspect of returns. The Wilder parabolic time or price system. Now, the Wilder parabolic time or price system, what does it say? Works best in trading range markets? Not true. Increases the number of days in the calculation whenever the price reach new high. Decreases the number of the days in calculation whenever the price reaches a new high. Yes. So obviously, what did Wilder parabolic SAR say? That they decrease the number of days, right? They decrease the number of days in calculation whenever the price reaches a new high. Which of the following is combined with Wilder's parabolic price or time system to produce the directional parabolic system? What is it? Directional movement index, right? Do you remember? I hope you do remember these chapters properly. So Wilder's parabolic price or system and directional. So you use a directional movement index. Coming to 69, a general rule for risk control in trading is the total amount risked on any single trade should not exceed 5% of equity. Okay, that's a good rule, and we have read about it. At least 50% of total equity should be dedicated to the market group with the strongest trend. 60%, 50%, that's not true. The majority of capital should be committed to the strongest market. That is not true either. So answer is A. Central tendency. What is central tendency? Mean median mode. You know what mean median mode is, right? Now, mean median modes are modes of tendency. What is the central tendency? Central tendency is mean. Now, what is mean? Mean is another name for average, right? So the answer of 70 is another term for average, A. Which of the following is correct guideline in pyramidic trade positions? Which of the following is a correct guideline for pyramiding trade positions? I hope you know what pyramiding is, right? If you don't know what pyramiding is, please Google it right now and learn the meaning of pyramiding. Taking positions on taking profits on winning positions, adding to losing positions. That means it's averaging, placing stops at break even, entering the smallest positions and then increasing. Obviously, that's the core meaning or the core belief of pyramiding, that in this initial time you are just entering with small amounts, and as time progresses you are increasing your position size. Then we come to 72. Which of the following is correct about intermarket relationships? Okay. Bond prices generally move inversely to equity prices. Not true. Bond and stocks go together. Financial stocks generally trend inversely to bond prices. Not true. The US dollar generally moves inversely to commodity prices. Yes. Think about ZAR USD or think about gold. When gold goes up, USD goes down. When USD goes up, gold goes down. Okay. 72, let me check the answer. Yes, the answer is C. Which of the following is a valid approach in using technical analysis to make investment decisions among stock market sectors? Relative strength analysis. So, by doing that, you basically identify the strong sector, weak sector. It is a valid approach. Sectors is relative strength. Lines are just turning up, down. Charting tools, trend lines, moving averages. No. Obviously, if you are selecting sectors, then you go with A. In a three box reversal point and figure double, in three box reversal point figure, um, double tops can be a continuation pattern, double bottoms can be a continuation pattern, bottoms and tops can be continuation pattern. Obviously both of them can be continuation patterns depending on the trend. Okay, 75. In point and figure theory, triple tops and triple bottoms, when breached, will lead to stronger price move. Small continuation frequently lead into a consolidation. Obviously, strong price move. 76. A correct interpretation of candlestick umbrella pattern is they are bullish after a rally, hammers after an uptrend, can be either bullish or bearish reversal patterns. Now, what is an umbrella pattern? This is how an umbrella pattern looks like. You can also call it hammer or a hanging man. Now, umbrella can either be a hammer if it is in a downtrend, and it can be a shooting star. Oh, sorry, shooting star looks like this. Or it can be a, what is that? Hanging man, hanging man, hanging man. Hanging man and hammer are basically the umbrella pattern. So it can be either in an uptrend or a downtrend. So it can be either bullish or bearish. Both of them are correct answers. 77. The candlestick hammer pattern, this is hammer, hammer is umbrella, has no lower shadow, comes after market rallies, need not be confirmed by other indicators. Okay, it cannot be confirmed. Even though ideally this is not the best option, but we will not mark lower because it has a lower shadow, right? So we'll not mark this. Comes after market rallies. That's not true. Why? Because it comes after market declines, right? So this is not true. So the only option which is left is C. Coming to 78, a candlestick hanging man pattern has no lower shadow. It has a lower shadow. Comes after market decline, requires a bearish confirmation. Now, why are we saying that a hanging man requires a bearish confirmation, whereas a hammer does not require? Because in a downtrend, if you have a hammer, it is showing bullish strength, right? Because it has a big wick. It's anyway showing bullish strength, so you go up. Now, in an uptrend, if you have a hanging man, even the hanging man is showing bullish strength, right? So priorly also it was going up. So it's also, the candle is also showing bullish strength. So obviously you need some confirmation before you go down. Okay. Moving on to 79, which of the following factors would increase the predictive power of the candlestick engulfing pattern? Pattern appears after a consolidation, heavy volume on the second day of the engulfing pattern. The first day has a very long real body, and the second day has a very short real body. Obviously, I think everyone knows the answer. The answer is B. Which of the following factors would increase the predictive power of the candlestick dark cloud cover pattern? The dark cloud cover occurs in the middle of a range. Heavy volume at the opening of the second day means that it is a buying climax. That could be the answer, right? Because second day has a buying climax, and you usually need a buying climax before the price reverses, right? So obviously the answer is B. 81. Which of the following is an incorrect interpretation of the candlestick piercing pattern? It is a bullish reversal pattern. Yes, it is bullish, so it is correct. So that is not the answer. It is a bearish reversal pattern. That is false. Why? Because piercing pattern is a bullish pattern, right? It's not bearish pattern. That's it. Which of the following reversal pattern? Which of the following is a reversal pattern in candlestick charting? Windows. What are windows? Windows are gap, three black crows. Rising three methods is continuation, gapping side by side white lines. Three black crows. The market is going up and then you have three black crows. That means that now market will go down. So the answer is B. Which of the following is correct regarding the ideal morning star candlestick pattern? It contains two candles. The candles are all of the same color. First two are wrong. The real bodies of the second and third candles overlap. The real bodies of the second and third candles fail to overlap. So obviously, you know how a morning star looks like. The answer is D. The real bodies of the second and third candles fail to. Question number 84. Which of the following factors increases the likelihood of the evening star candlestick formation being a reversal pattern? You know what evening star is? It is formed at the top of an uptrend, right? Right before it reverses. Um, which of the following increases the likelihood? So the real bodies of the candles in the pattern overlap. The last candle barely closes into the body of the first candle. There is light volume on the first candle of the pattern and heavy volume on the last of the pattern. Obviously the answer is C, right? Because the thing which is going down, which is the last candle, that has the strongest volume. So that is the answer. Moving on. Sorry about that. Yeah, question number 85. Which of the following is correct regarding shooting star? The color of the body is important. It is more bearish than the engulfing pattern. It is more bearish than the evening star pattern. The lack of rising window makes the pattern more bearish. Obviously, the lack of rising window. Which of the following is correct regarding mm, the inverted hammer candlestick pattern? So this is how a hammer looks like, right? And inverted would look like a shooting star. So what is correct? It is a continuation pattern, not true. It is a pattern that requires confirmation. Inverted hammer. It comes at the end of the market, downtrend, and then you have a hammer. Okay, inverted hammer is a shooting star, right? So what would be the answer? Obviously, the pattern requires confirmation because we are looking for a shooting star. Okay, next the question is 87. Let's read 87. Which of the following is correct regarding the Harami candlestick patterns? It contains a spinning top. The real body must be black. It is a continuation pattern. Obviously, the answer is A. It has a spinning top, right? You remember the Harami pattern? In tweezers top candlestick pattern, the two candles must have shaven tops, the same high price, the same color body. So they do not have to have same color body. You know that, and they also do not have to have shaven tops. So they have to have same high price, right? This is how they look like, something like this. Okay. 89. Which of the following is not correct regarding belt hold candlestick patterns? Okay. What is not correct? The pattern consists of one candle. A short belt hold line has more significance than a long belt hold line. Hmm. The okay. So first of all, we all know that the belt hold candlestick pattern has only one candle. So this cannot be incorrect. The bearish belt hold is long black candle that opens and moves low throughout the closing session. The Okay. So obviously the answer is B. A short belt hold line has more significance than a long belt hold line. That's not true, right? Because long belt is more powerful as compared to a short belt. Okay, 90. Which of the following is correct regarding three black crows candlestick pattern? It is first of all a reversal pattern. Okay, so A is wrong. The three candlesticks should all close at or near their lows. That's true. So I got my answer. Which is not correct regarding the three advancing white shoulders? It is a gradual and steady rise. That is true. Each real body opens within or near prior session's real body. True. It is composed of three white candles with successively higher closes. True. If the second or third candle shows signs of weakening, the pattern is called stalled pattern. This is not true. So the answer is D. Which of the following is not correct regarding the three mountains and three rivers candlestick pattern? Not correct. They are short-term continuation patterns. So first of all, they are not they are not continuations, right? So the answer is they are short-term continuation patterns. Let's see the other options. The three mountains is also known as Buddha top. The three rivers is known as inverted Buddha. The three rivers is also known as inverted Buddha. Okay, so you know that mountain tops are known as Buddha top and inverted mountain tops are known as reverse inverted Buddha. Right? Sorry, three. Let me just repeat myself. Three mountains is known as Buddha top and three rivers is known as inverted Buddha. Right? And you know that these are not continuation; these are reversal patterns. Coming to 93, which of the following is correct regarding the window candlestick pattern? Window is basically a gap. I hope you remember that. It is a reversal pattern. One should buy on dips after a falling window. It occurs when the shadows of two consecutive candles do not overlap. It occurs when the real bodies do not overlap. So you know when there's a window occur, right? A window occurs when the shadows do not overlap. So the answer is going to be C. Moving on to 94, which of the following is not correct regarding the rising and falling three method candlestick patterns? Okay, which of them is not true? Rising and falling three methods candlestick pattern. Their continuation, that's true. Each pattern consists of three candles. Now that is not true. Which of the following is correct regarding separating lines candlestick pattern? Okay, separating lines candlestick pattern. It is a reversal pattern. Yes, it is. The two candles have the same color. It is true. The opening price of the second candle equals to the opening price of the first candle. So we got the answer. Which of the following candlestick formations is not a continuation pattern? So windows, tweezers, separating lines. Okay. So the answer is obviously tweezers because tweezers are always reversal pattern. Okay. Now let's come to 97. Which of the following is a continuation pattern? Doji, hammer, windows, and tweezers. So obviously, I hope you got the answer. It is windows because windows basically are usually the continuation patterns. 98. Standard deviation. What is the formula of standard deviation? Standard deviation is the square root of variance. So the answer is A. Whenever you take the square root of variance, then you get the standard deviation. The two common ways that a greed driven indicate investor can suffer losses even when his longer term forecast is correct are from index in currencies, index in pyramiding, leveraging in currencies, leveraging and pyramiding. The answer is C, leveraging and the answer is the two common ways that a greed driven investor can suffer losses even when his longer term forecast is correct. Okay. Even if the long term is correct, in pyramiding and leveraging, you can still make losses, right? Because pyramiding, you know what pyramiding is? Taking small positions. The correct order of the industrial life cycle is innovation, maturity, consolidation, decay. Innovation, consolidation, decay, maturity. Innovation, consolidation, maturity, decay. Innovation, maturity, decay, consolidation. Obviously, the answer is innovation, consolidation, maturity, decay. First, you are innovating some particular thing, then you are consolidating it, then you are making it mature, and after you making it mature, you are then basically decaying it. Coming to 101. Why is it important to ignore opinions and focus on facts in the market analysis? Unexpected news does not get factored into the market. General news reflects slowly unfolding economic and financial trends, not yet discounted. Stock market news is more important than general news. Okay, so answer is B. Which of the following generally best characterizes the theory of contrary opinion? The majority are always wrong, always trade against the prevailing trend. The future can be extrapolated based on present tense. When everyone thinks alike, everyone is likely to be wrong. So that is the theory of contrary opinion. To calculate moving averages for a point and figure chart, first redraw the chart as one into one chart, convert the chart to a conventional line chart, make a decision on how many columns to average, find the longest column and count the number of filled. The answer is you need to identify how many columns you want to average. So the answer is C. A morning star candlestick pattern is typically a top reversal pattern, bottom reversal pattern, continuation pattern, very small pattern. The answer is B. An evening an evening doji star candlestick pattern An evening doji star candlestick pattern has doji in the last position, has doji in the middle position, is completely comprised of dojis, is completed by dojis leading out of the pattern. So you know that in evening doji star candlestick pattern, the middle candle is going to be a doji. So the answer is B. Moving on to 106. The abandoned baby candlestick pattern. The abandoned baby candlestick pattern has doji as the second candle. Appear upon completion of star patterns, can be formed over long periods of time, do not appear in star pattern, it only appears in box ranges. The answer is A. Why? Because in an abandoned baby candlestick pattern, the abandoned baby is always the second the second candle, and the second one is usually doji. Moving on, the candlestick formation counterattack lines are formed when a doji breaks the moving average. Same colored candles have the same close. Opposite color candles have the same close. So obviously the answer is C. That is what was counterattack lines. I hope you can remember. The bearish counterpart to piercing candlestick is dark cloud cover. And what is the bullish opposite of dark cloud cover? Piercing line. Prior to a market top, what would one expect to see in a VIX reading? Okay. When before a market top, what do you expect to see? You see that the VIX is low, right? If the VIX is high, that means that the top has been created. So since the top hasn't been created yet, the VIX is going to be low. So the answer should be um, A. Yeah. However, I'm not 100% sure about this because it can either be this or it can be this. But I think it should be low, but I'll come back to this. Which of the following tools would provide the least help to a trader who is trying to determine where to place a stop order? So, Trin parabolic, SAR average two range pivot point technique. To place a stop order, it's Trin. A Harami candlestick pattern mostly resembles what Western charting pattern? Island reversal, outside day, inside day, gap. It's going to be inside day because you remember Harami pattern, it looked like this. So somewhat it has an inside candle inside it. It has a baby inside it. Okay. Moving on, we have, let me just give me a second. Yeah. When small cap stocks have abnormal strength, this can be attributed to the January effect. We know small caps do well in January. If a peak occurs prior to the halfway point of a cycle, this would be considered inversion, left translation, right translation. So this should be left translation. Let me check. Yeah, it should be left translation. So if you're in the midway of the cycle and if a peak occurs there, then that is known as left translation. The Chaikin money flow index does not rise above zero in an uptrend, suffer from the drop off effect as it uses a simple moving average, measures deviations of price within two standard deviations of the price. So Chaikin money flow does not, so it does rise above zero in an upward trend, right? And it also suffers from the drop off effect. So answer should be C, measure deviations of price within two standard deviations. Then we have 115, a system in which the investor must be able to withstand a system in which the investor must be able to withstand a long series of losses is known as the parabolic, pyramiding, martingale, and directional movement system. So obviously the answer is going to be martingale, which is why most of the forex firms also have prohibited martingale because it is a very high risk strategy. Moving on to 116. All of the following are similar technical indicators. Stochastic Williams R relative strength index. Okay, so stochastic Williams R and relative strength index, all of these are oscillators, whereas Herrick payoff index is not. So the answer is Herrick payoff index. 117. On a point and figure, to account for the distortion caused by low price action not appearing as active as high price action, one should change to scale to arithmetic, scale to logarithmic, box size on the chart. So they have to change to scale to logarithmic. 118. Over a period of 4 weeks, the swing trader notices that for a particular security, ADX the ADX reading has declined from a high of 45 to a low of 15. What tool would help the trader isolate a trading opportunity over the next few days? Swing trader ADX has declined from 45 to 15. So what should you do? Over a period of 4 weeks, the swing trader notices that for a particular security, ADX declined from 45. So earlier it was 45 and then it came down to 15. Oscillator, linear regression, simple moving average, exponential. Okay, so obviously the answer is going to be an oscillator. The concept that helps quantify the risk of a trading system is longest flat time, maximum favorable, length of average winning trade, maximum cumulative drawdown. So the answer is going to be cumulative drawdown because before you calculate how much risk you are willing to take, you need to know that how much could be the maximum drawdown which you would probably take. Okay, 120. The indicator measures the distance between two exponential moving averages of advancing minus the declining issues. So distance between two EMAs, advancing minus declining. Okay, so two exponential moving averages, advancing minus declining. That is, what is this? You know that this is the Maclaurin oscillator. The moment you see this formula of two exponential moving averages of advancing minus declining, you should know that this is Maclaurin oscillator. Indicators that measure what uninformed investors are doing refers to Cycle, breadth, sentiment, flow of funds. So obviously the answer is sentiment. The efficient market hypothesis assume that most investors will act rationally, most investors will act irrationally. Crowd behavior creates unsustainable while crowd price reflect most of the available public informations. So the biggest assumption out of this all would be that most of the investors will act rationally. A security has just broken out of its trading range to the upside. Over the course of the next 2 days, it rises an additional 5% from the point of breakout and then returns again to the resistance. So, what does that mean? Shortfall or throwback? It's going to be C, right? Throwback. If it was a break of support, then this would have been a pullback. Okay. Which of the following statements regarding MACD is not correct? It is useful in a trending market. Um, that is correct. The signal line is also moving average, correct. The calculation uses only exponential moving averages, that is also correct. If MACD had positive value of more than 12 periods, it is predictive of reversal, that is not true. Okay, now let's come to 125. Which of the following statements is correct regarding stochastic? It moves in the same direction as the Williams indicator, that is not true. It is not as sensitive to recent price action as other indicators like rate of change, that is not true. It works best in a trending market when it confirms the direction uh, of the primary trend. That is also not true. It examines the most recent closing price as a percentage of the price range over a window of time. Yes, it makes the closing price to be a percentage of the change over a window of time, right? So that is what is stochastic oscillator. The chart type which integrates volume into the price bar. So what is the chart which has volume in the price bar? It is the equivolume chart. So the answer is B. All of the following are standard patterns used with the three box reversal point and figure charts. All of the following are standard patterns used with three box reversals except for triangles, fulcrums, triple top, double bottom, double top, double bottom. The answer is obviously fulcrums. A method to retrend data to determine if a cycle exists or not is, okay, think about it. How do you retrend the data? Plot a linear regression line, apply volume weighted, divide the current prices by moving average, create an oscillator and plot the standard deviation. So obviously if you are dividing the current price with the moving average, you get a retrended data. So that's it with this video. I think we are done with the questions. Yes, we've done all of the 128 questions. In further videos, I'll try to solve more questions if I find any paper. Please check the description box below. You will be able to find the entire playlist where I have solved other papers and where I have also explained the chapters. If you have any queries, then you can drop them in the comments section below. And if you guys have some PDFs or if you have some question papers or some questions which you want that we all can solve, then you can email them to me. The email is also given. You can just go on my profile and find my email. It is it will be accessible there. And please share this channel with other people who might be studying for CMT.